Good morning, Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan, and welcome to our weekly sales meeting. I am absolutely thrilled to be back with you this week after my brief hiatus at Train the Presenter last week. I heard that everybody was laughing at all of Carrie's jokes, so I'm going to expect that same treatment for me today as I've got a couple of zingers. To start out, though, we will start with the belief system. I review one of these every week, give an example of how I hope that it would show up for you in your week and in your life. I'm actually going to talk about all of them at a more global scale here for just a hot second. I want you to know that when I talk about the culture of the company, we talk about these elements for the way that we behave and the way that we treat each other and what our expectations of one another are. I want to encourage everybody, it's not just an internal thing, right? As the market shifts, and we're going to talk about that in a bit, things get a little more tense, they get a little bit more tight, and it's easier to skip over some of these, one, with ourselves, two, with our colleagues inside the shop, but most importantly, with some of the co-brokes. Know that these are the expectation. This is the expectation for how we treat everybody in our lives, for all of our relationships inside the company, inside the industry, and inside our homes. So I encourage you all to find a way in your current deal. You got a deal going right now. Find a way to really live this belief system for the other agent. Right. And we've grown this company to almost 470 agents through the law of attraction. And it's by being a great partner in real estate transactions and being a great servant to our clients that we've drawn so many people to our company. And it's through these behaviors. So just some insight there for you this week. Got some happies. Happy birthday to all of these lovely individuals who are celebrating another lap around the sun today. Jen Galetti today is her birthday. So happy birthday, Jen. Moving on to our top performers for the month of August. We had a lot of people setting the world on fire. Shout out to Nicole McHale. I think that's back-to-back months for her, maybe 2 of the last 3 months. She was at the top of the heap. Debbie Garson with 6 closings in the month of August. Huge August for Debbie. And then want to shout out the Premier Heights group. It's Sophie Bolin and her squad with 9 listings. 9 listings in August. You guys want to beat the shift? Focus on listings and get 9 a month. You'll be fine. All right, so moving on to our cappers. Happy Cappy. This group is the largest group of cappers that we've ever had in a single month, which is really exciting, guys. When you look at the metrics for our company, we are holding strong against the shifting market, but there's one that is up in a big way. And that's the gross commission income. That's the amount of money that our agents are making. And so I couldn't be happier that was the case because that's what we're in business for. Mo Anderson, the first CEO of Keller Williams, would always say, if you aren't profitable, you aren't in culture. All right. And then welcome to all of these awesome future real estate rock stars. We had a great month of August. And are excited to be in business with all of these folks as they are, they're getting in, as I say, they're getting into the industry at the perfect time. The opportunity for them in this upcoming market will be huge, just as it is for all of you. And then we get into relationships and we get into business with folks like the ones who were on the last slide through things like our career night. So last night, in the 2.5 years that I've been doing this gig, last night was the largest single career night that we've had. So that tells me a few things. One, I'm happy to see it because damn near everybody there got invited by one of our agents, right? Which means I think you're loving life here, and that we are, at least in some way, shape, or form, delivering on that mission, vision, values, and belief systems of our organization. The second thing is, all you'll hear at the leadership level around the shift is nobody's going to be getting into the industry. As soon as the news starts being real bad, you won't see or hear those real estate schools loading up with people. Well, here's what this tells me. People see opportunity in our industry, and more specifically, they see opportunity with our company. And I love, this is one of the favorite conversations that I get to have with anybody at any level in the organization, because there's the opportunity to start shaping good habits and the right expectations right up front, and leading people towards a culture of coaching and achievement, things that you won't find in most industries or in most companies. So just know that there's another one of these coming up next Monday night. There will be 2 more in October, 2 in November, probably 2 in December. If you know anybody who's got an itch to scratch, or is thinking about changing careers, or is even with another company, we've had active agents attend these and then become a part of our organization based on what we do for our people. So please don't hesitate to get anybody and everybody that you know in the room with us. And there's the information for next week's West Side session, and Carrie will put that in the chat. There is a core CE 1 week from today at 11 a.m. So for those of you who need a civil rights core CE 3-hour class brought to you by Ohio House Financing Agency, take advantage of that, guys. Get this knocked out. The best way to build a big business is to stay in business. And I tell you, every month there's somebody who's scrambling and overnighting and trying to do 30 hours of CE in 12 hours so that they don't have a deal fall apart. Just stay on top of it. If you have questions about when your CEs are due, then by all means reach out to Kate at the front desk. All right, so let's get into some of our upcoming trainings. We have started a YouTube channel, or YouTube playlist. I'm not really sure what they're called. I'm not hip. But where we're organizing all of our deep dives into the shift tactics. Now, you'll remember the second to last week in August, we had a gap because of Mega Camp. And so Terry Shimoleski, MAPS coach, Mega Agent Productivity Systems coach for Keller Williams, recorded a deep dive of pricing ahead of the market. And this is getting price reductions, not getting price reductions, but getting ahead of price reductions so that you sell your home more quickly and net your people more money in less time. Terry is a master of these scripts, and so her deep dive into them is really compelling and really useful. Guys, in the last 7 days, 12.5% of the homes on the market took a price reduction. Almost 1,000 properties in the last 7 days took a price reduction, right? And we've been talking about the shift since March. It's here. And the only way to beat it is to get ahead of it, right? So tighten up those scripts, watch this session, and make the most of the opportunities you got. Speaking of making the most of things, make the most of the runway you have to 2023. Be a part of our business planning clinic. This is going to be on October 10th. It's an all-day event. Lunch will be served. Plans will be made. We'll laugh, we'll cry, we will get a head start on next year. There's never been a year that's been more critical to have a solid plan of action and to stick to it consistently than 2023. So join me for 6 hours of CE and the opportunity to build a business plan to take you through the shift. Now, you guys got a little rundown from Carrie last week about this. This is a list of the top 34 companies in Keller Williams, or top 35. This is a list that you can find us at. Probably about 3 or 4 years ago, we were in the 20s, then we were in the teens. Now we're at number 2. I actually met with the team leader and CEO of Heritage Market Center while I was in Austin, Texas. And all I told him was that we were, that he should enjoy being number 1 for the time that he can. Because I know that our organization is the best in the world, and we're going to prove it. Now, That's a pretty big number down the right-hand side. And that is the amount of money that we have shared back to agents in our company just this year. So in 8 months, we're just under $800,000 to our agents. And that is absolutely outstanding. It's revolutionary, and it's something that is at the core of our culture, which I talked about at the beginning of the call. What I want everybody to do is to understand why Keller Williams is so amazing, why it's the best place to be in the shift, and how just being that great agent that I talked about at the beginning is going to put you in relationships with people that allow you to earn profit share. Now, I probably talk about that all the time, and you guys are maybe tone deaf to me articulating that. So we brought the one, the only, the self-proclaimed Keller Williams stakeholder evangelist, Aaron Kaufman, back to Cleveland. Now, he was here in 2019, sold out the crowd, brought down the house, changed the landscape of Northeast Ohio, and he's going to do it again. And I want you to be there. So take advantage of this. We have a great venue. We have a great event. We will sell out. So go ahead and be like the dozen people who have already got their tickets, and get your tickets now. And let's be together and really lean into and understand why we are where we are and what it means for our business. And I think Aaron's going to share a little bit about what you guys can expect from that session.
Big hello to my fellow KW stakeholders. It's Aaron Kaufman, self-titled Chief Stakeholder Evangelist out of Atlanta, Georgia, and can't tell you how excited I am to have the opportunity to come back to Cleveland to teach my innovative profit share building class, The KW Effect, to you on Wednesday, October 26th from 9 to noon at the Aviator Event Center in Cleveland, Ohio. Now, guys, I've had a lot of success attracting agents to KW and building wealth through KW Profit Share. And this is really my chance to give back and share with you what I've learned along the way. Now, this will be a 3-hour class. I'm literally going to talk about the profit share money for 10 minutes. The rest of my session is what I call a unfiltered Keller Williams stakeholder meeting. And I am coming there to inspire you, but more importantly, I am coming there to empower you on how to get into higher level, more authentic conversations with people about our company so you can get more purposeful about growing your 401kW. And Gary Keller says it best: the greatest shift of wealth and opportunity are in down cycles, not up cycles. I think it's fair to say in this shift that we're in, agents need what we have to offer right now more than they've ever needed us. So if you want that kind of information, hopefully I'll see you on Wednesday, October 26th from 9 to noon at the Aviator Event Center in Cleveland, Ohio. If that information doesn't interest you, that's okay. That's just more profit share for the rest of us. See you soon.
Guys, the reason I love Aaron as a presenter is because he does exactly what he said he was going to do. You know, this gets billed as a profit share class. It is not. He talks about and explains profit share at a high level for like the last 15 minutes. You will leave with things that are helpful for profit share. But even if you never invite a single person to a career night or to any events that we have, or talk to them about opportunities with Keller Williams, the thing that you'll get out of this is a much firmer, fonder understanding of who we are and what we do and why this is the best place to be. So that's why we want you all there. And our favorite fall activity, the Trunk or Treat and Chili Cook-Off, returns to the calendars on October 22nd from 1 to 3 p.m. This is a really fun time. And what this has started to become, folks, is your excuse to have a client event. We had a few agents last year. You're going to get this marketing in a follow-up email today. And go ahead, put your logo on it, brand it to you. Send it out to everybody. Make it your event, because the more people are there, the more fun it is, and the more likely I am to come out victorious in the chili cook-off. So Marty Emmerman, if you're on this call, I'm coming for you again. I will not rest until I steal that title from him. But guys, this is a really fun event, family friendly, big events right here in our Pepper Pike office in the parking lot on a Saturday. Really, really gorgeous time. And then this Thursday, everybody should be here for our mega camp recap, guys. And it's more like a mega camp recreation. The opportunity here is we're all going to get together. We're going to have a bunch of vendors in the room, pump some music, talk about what the message from Gary was, hear from some agents who were there, and generally have a fun time spending time with each other and learning from each other. There will be some great giveaways, some great takeaways, including a lot of information on models and systems that were shared at Mega Camp to help agents build businesses big enough to be in the top 1% of the 200,000 Keller Williams agents worldwide. So this is a can't miss event for anybody who said, man, when are we going to start doing sales meetings in person again? Or when are we going to, this is going to be that event, right? And so we are excited to see you, get together with you, spend time with you, and give a market update, talk about shift tactics, and review a playbook. Last call here. This Thursday at 5 p.m., we are cutting it off. We already have over 200 tickets sold for the clam bake. This is going to be a ball, and you should not miss it. So pop into the chat, grab the link, go buy tickets, buy them for you, buy them for your friends, buy them for your family, buy them for your clients. Just be there. It's a wonderful time. Live music, food, booze, raffle, auction. It's all really divine. Excited for you guys. All right, now we're going to throw it over to our partners. Nope. Now we're going to throw it over to our partners.
All right. I think that's me. All right.
Sorry, John.
All right. Good morning, everybody. All right. 11% interest rates are not in the foreseeable future. So now that I got your attention.
Wow.
Yeah. That was the hook. Okay. So 2 announcements. One is the Federal Reserve Board meeting starts today, concludes tomorrow, Wednesday at 2:15. Fed's going to come out with an announcement. Very likely they're going to bump the federal funds rate by 0.75%. The market is more or less pricing this in and expecting that. The 30-year fixed is the national average on the 30-year fixed is almost at 6.5%. That's a high watermark from going back 14 years. Rates have been a little bit all over the place, and there's going to be some volatility in the days to come, but just to give you kind of a feel for where things are at. If you're curious, just always feel free to reach out to us. We'll kind of give you a little bit of a market update. And for those of you, if you're not getting our weekly market updates, feel free to send either Don, myself, or Chris an email, and we'll get you into those. It's kind of just a auto-generated sort of market summary at the end of the week. Also, the jumbo loan limits with cross country are officially raised. So quickly, just going over this, each November, Fannie Mae Freddie Mac announces what the new jumbo limit is going to be effective January. There's a handful of lenders, cross country included, who know this is coming and jump all over it. So we are taking applications up to $715,000 for non-jumbo. And of course, anything over that, we're more than happy to work with as a jumbo loan as well. So if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to either of us. Don, anything you have to add?
Just we are on a fairly slow, steady rise in interest rates. Like Sean said, national average about 6.5% right now. I would not be surprised if we don't hit 7% on a regular basis here in the coming months. So stay tuned, sit tight, buckle up. One other thing too, Dan, at 715, Sean, normally FHA will follow raising their loan limits too, which is normally 65% of that conforming limit. So stay tuned for that. It hasn't been announced yet, but again, FHA will probably going up to 65% of that number as well.
Good call.
Yeah, Don, you beat me to it. I was going to talk about it.
Sorry, Chris.
I'll break. Hey, Don, Sean, you guys ever do deals at 7% interest?
I have, yes.
Yeah. Probably a
Yes.
lot of them.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was gonna say only 20 years ago, but we were at 8.25% in summer of 01 or summer of 2000, I believe. So, that wasn't that long ago for some of us.
No. I mean, I think Chris was probably just showing up on campus, right, Chris?
The other side of the coin to that, I'd like to respond to that. The buyers that are coming into market in the past, say 30 to 60 days, I don't want to say they're not concerned about interest rates, but those aren't the people that were looking for homes in the at the beginning of this year that still saw rates in the 3% range.
Bingo.
So these people are kind of unfazed by where rates are. They just think that this is the normal right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, homes have been sold at 17 and a quarter. I don't think we're headed back there. They're going to go up. Great. So what can we do about it? Well, we can't do anything about interest rates, but we can control the controllables, which for us is our knowledge of the market and who we do business with, right? So often we say who you do business with matters, right? And we think it's about like the company. I'm talking about your partners. So getting in a deal with Sean, Don, and Chris is the best way to protect that deal. And I want everybody to know that, you know, the easiest way to get boned up on the market and understand things is get on that weekly newsletter from these guys and just read it, and it'll make you conversant. We're going to talk more about that with our training today. But guys, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
All right, over to our friends at GM Title and Escrow. Who we got today, Tiffany or Jade?
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, Jade.
Hello. Good news here at GM. So everyone loves our online earnest money deposit. Well, we did switch companies for that. And with that, they do something that they can verify the funds that are in the account before we draw it out, which means now you no longer have to wire anything over $10,000. If it's earnest money, any amount can be deposited on the online now. So no more wiring instructions. Of course, at the end of the deal, when, you know, buyers do have to wire funds, that still does have to be a wire. But as long as earnest money is concerned, any amount can go on our website now.
Awesome.
It will take about 24 hours though to show up in our account, which is when you guys will receive the receipts to that earnest money though. But any amount can be deposited on there now.
That's terrific. Jade, would it be possible to get like just a quick snippet in the chat or in the Facebook group? Because I know that a lot of folks have the, you know, I think it'd be nice to incorporate that into a buyer consultation package or along with a purchase agreement, just so people understand like, hey, here's how you can do it. Here's how we do it. In case anyone has those notes in there, that would be terrific.
Absolutely. I'll put the step-by-step instructions in the chat right now.
Awesome. Thank you. And I know I saw Gina Legazo on the call. Gina, how are you this morning?
I'm doing fabulous. I'm out and about and I'm making people smile one warranty at a time. You know that. So for those of you that were not on our September 6th meeting, we announced that we have a brand new warranty. I'll be in our office tomorrow. We just got the branded version. And if you weren't on the call September 6th, our new pricing is $499 with a $100 deductible and $535 for a $50 deductible. But what's great news for all of our agents that are on the call today, Michael, is there's new coverage. We're including washer dryer now in our standard policy, exterior sewer and water lines, which means we're going from the foundation out to the street in coverage for our clients. And then there's a brand new technology package to protect your home theater, your printers, your routers, your tablets, your computer. This is all gearing towards people that are working at home. So brand new fabulous coverage for you guys. We will have the brochure tomorrow in our market centers. So I just really excited about this. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And as always, I appreciate your support.
Thank you, Gina. Appreciate you as well. And I didn't see Jess on the call, so I think that's going to do it for the partner updates. We're going to dive into this conversation about the shift and distressed properties. You know, if anyone's done a short sale, foreclosure, an REO, we would need 12 hours of coursework to cover that. And it's all available inside of Keller Williams. So like you can get access to those resources. I'm not going to take you through that today. What I want to do is help us elevate our understanding of how and why these things happen so that you know what to look for in your client base. Now, let's review what happens in a shifting market, right? Things start to shift slowly and in pockets, and then they speed up and everybody's in the same boat, right? So we are looking at probably somewhere halfway down that swing, and it's gonna get a tailwind of seasonality here. and things that have been maybe slowing down a little bit in August are slowing down a little bit faster and are going to slow down even more. Now, slow down does not mean no sales, right? As we said, there's going to be somewhere between 13 and 14,000 transactions in the fourth quarter, right? We probably got about 16 or 17,000 transactions left on the year. That's a lot of room for you to go have wins, right? But it's your awareness that's going to drive it, right? And so we are just at the top of this roller coaster ride. And so we need to be really focused on doing as much business in any way that we can over the course of the next 12 months to 18 months as we move through that lagging tail. So when you do that, right, when you protect the business that you have from units, keep the same number of units. Everyone's business plan should have at least the same number of units, if not more units. We cannot go backwards in unit count during a shift. And then when we come out, we protect our percentage of market share. So we'll have that conversation in about 24 months. Right now, we want to eat, sleep, breathe, units, units, units. So today's conversation is about a way to get units, right? And to turn up some more business. So we're going to talk about distressed properties. You got to know it and be able to consult to it. And there are a few different things that drive it, right? So you've got personal shifts that take place in your life, market or property-based shifts, and then some shifts in the buyer's market. And I'm going to just 10,000 foot view this thing so that you guys know where you want to dig in more. Right. So there are four primary causes of a distressed property, right? You see a really simple chart here, which is before a shift, somebody buys a house, it's valued at 100, they take out a loan for 10, and they've got debt of 90. Well, what can happen there is that you could lose value, and this is what happened a lot in 9 and 10. You lose value, and the debt, you got more in debt than you have in value of the house. So then you have negative equity, right? And this forces a very precarious transaction where people have to bring money to the table to sell their home. Now, is this entirely likely in our current market that has been appreciating? Probably not to a large degree, right? I'm not saying it's not possible. I mean, put a 1 in the chat if you know somebody that might have overpaid for a home in the last 2 years, right? And then we may be in a position. They may not be necessarily headed towards a negative equity position, but maybe somebody had to bring cash to the table, right? And that bringing cash to the table liquidated their cash on hand, which puts them in a dicier financial situation. The other thing that is a looming impact here is homes appreciated by a lot in the last 2 years, and people who bought them by and large on a tax rate for the old price. So where I think you're going to see the most disruption, and it's not a negative equity equation, but it will price people out of their own homes is a forthcoming increase in taxes. So really, if you want to tip to win over the next 24 months, become an expert on taxes and help people navigate that in a really big way. And the second thing is the role of unemployment. Now, you've heard me forewarn the challenges of the upcoming economic crisis or economic tough times. And so you're going to start seeing it show up in layoffs, right? So most people don't have 12, 24, 36 months worth of mortgage payments in the bank, right? We just talked about how they're very illiquid as a result of the buying frenzy the last 2 years. So now if someone becomes unemployed or even underemployed, that could create a shortfall in their ability to stay in their home, which means that they're going to be in a position that they may need to move again inside of just a couple years and get back into a property or maybe even rent for a period of time. But just know that when there are layoffs, there are going to be people impacted, and it's going to impact their housing. The other thing I want to call out, a lot of the layoffs are happening in the tech industry, right? As you can see, the majority of those that show up on the board there are tech companies. Keep in mind that those tech companies skyrocketed during the pandemic. They hired up to meet the brave new world of everything being digital, and that has changed. But don't mistake the fact that there's a lot of companies that are cottage industries to tech companies, or that rely on those tech companies or support those tech companies, that will be the second or third wave of layoffs coming. So please stay in the know on what's happening there. And then any personal crisis, unforeseen medical expenses, job loss, death in the family, unplanned transfers, and divorce are all things that lead to, I mean, look, 88% of all real estate transactions happen because a life event happened: birth, death, marriage, divorce, promotion, and demotion. So keep those things in mind. You're going to hear a message from me. We got to be in relationship with our people, right? The only way we protect our units and navigate that pendulum swing is by being in deeper and deeper and deeper relationships with the people who are going to have life events and going to need us to help them. And then finally, consumer confidence, right? Overconfidence is really bad. Ignorance is worse. And that's where we come in as the local economist of choice, right? The expert fiduciary to help our clients understand everything happening around them and with their home. Because, you know, we all have seen clients make really bad decisions when they know better than us, right? But guess what? And that's the overconfidence piece. The other challenge is that if we're not going out there and evangelizing and talking to our people about their homes, the values, the economy, all of those things, we are letting our friends, family, and clients be ignorant. And somebody might whistle right past the graveyard with respect to the idea of their home and what to do with it, because we didn't make that call, right? So don't let those, but all of these things are going to be exasperated in the shift. And this is this graphic is like 10 years old, 12 years old at this point. But know that there are a lot of phases of this distressed property, right? Somebody starts missing payments, they get a notice of default, they can hand over the deed in lieu of foreclosure, they can accept the foreclosure, they can do a short sale if they're underwater. All of these things can start happening. And there is a lot of information on these as it's related to what are all the stages, right? So you miss a mortgage payment, notice of default, get the loan modification, maybe forbearance comes back. I think that Sean and Don and Chris will be great helps if that one comes back on the table, foreclosure, eviction, redemption, all those things. The market is shifting, right? So loans are changing. We don't have ARMs anymore, but nevertheless, the changes in the market will likely be the tax component. And so as you can see, there's a lot of different things that are happening every step of the way for a foreclosure. And then the buyers, like if foreclosures and distressed sales become a thing, those of you who work with investors will have people coming out of the woodwork because that's where they see opportunity. Here's what I want you to know. Most of the people that will come to the table once the market has shifted will be late and there will be competition. So the goal here is to really get our heads wrapped around and be intentional about understanding this at a much higher level. And a higher degree of specificity. So how do we take advantage of this? Well, one, everybody here in our company should email Kate and say, hey, add a copy of the shift to my upcoming invoice. And as this is tactic number 11, there's 50 pages on how to navigate this from a mindset and an execution standpoint. What I'm going to encourage you to do is to select one of these various elements, right? And get really intentional about it, right? Let's say it's the missed payment or notice of default. There's going to be something a little upstream and a little below stream from that, but pinpoint the issue in the process or the opportunity in the current market and really pursue a deeper understanding of that. We have to be more educated than our people to be able to help them. And then get in as many relationships as possible. If you say, I'm going to be the person that, is able to take care of the problem once notice of default shows up. Okay, great. So really get a strong understanding of what that means, when it happens, what happens right before and what happens right after, and what your timeline is, right? Get with a mortgage partner, get with, somebody in the banking industry to help you understand that at a deeper degree. Google it, YouTube it, read Shift again, and then start networking around that. Start networking with lenders, and let everybody know that's my expertise, and then start helping people, right? So when you get those opportunities, really be a student of it. And then you'll get another opportunity, and somebody knows that Bob was laid off and somehow he navigated everything thanks to you. Well, guess who you're going to get referrals from? Bob and anybody else that ends up in Bob's situation, which will be more and more and more people as we move from November to December to January and throughout the next year. And start headlining your messages to your consumers, right? Do not be a secret specialist. If you are going to build mastery in something, if you're really good at something, finding the perfect house, helping people with remodels, knowing how to navigate investor pro formas, or knowing how to get people out of their challenges, financial challenges as it relates to their home, you got to tell the world about that, right? Any marketing company in the world would tell you, pick who your ideal customer is and then speak to that person in many places as you can. Well, that's why we're going to pick just one step in this process. You will end up touching all of them, I promise. But your entry point should be as close to the top of the funnel as possible and focused on this. And this right now is about 1% of the total market in the United States. In 2010, it was 33%. That means 1 out of every 3 properties went through this timeline. I don't know that it's going to be 1 out of every 3. I could probably bet dollars to donuts it's going to be in the low double digits at least. So if you could specialize and be an expert in 10% of the market and take 10% of 10% of the market, you probably sell 600 homes next year, right? So your specialization is your path as it relates to these things. So again, I could go for days and days on each one of those funnels. And I'm sure if anybody, I know if Satrina's on the call, I always recommend Satrina for short sale help. But anybody who's done those in the past, short sales, REOs, or distressed properties in general, there is a lot of process and paperwork and emotion and stress involved. But the people who do that well will never be without a friend. And so keep that in mind. If you're interested in learning more about it, if you want more opportunities to understand it, please, reach out to me. I'll get you direct. If you run into one of these, don't try and just figure it out on your own. Raise your hand. Let's get you some support, get you linked up with somebody who's been in the industry for a couple decades and who's done one of these. That way you get a little bit of support. But guys, I really want to encourage you, we do these as a part of our weekly sales meeting. Every one of them is recorded and clipped and, is going to be a great resource for you, because while we've been talking about the shift for the last 6 months, and while we've been teaching on the tactics for tough times for the last 3 months, you will need to and want to revisit these things going forward. Your lead generation, your leveraging, your listings, your opportunities, price reductions, all of these things are going to be, you could watch all 12 of them every month, right? And take advantage of that in a very big way, because those resources are what's going to keep your saw sharp and give you the opportunity to win where everyone else is, looking left. You're moving right, because that's what the pendulum's doing. Don't think about where things are, think about where they're going, guys. And revisiting these shift tactics will allow you to do that at a really high level. All right. So that does it for our programming today. Thank you for being here. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We will be excited to see you soon. Have a great day, everyone.